I got the slates right here.
Literally
Got
all
the
you need
slates
is
right
that
here,
spike in
pal.
the waveform, though. That's all you need. That's
Got
all
the
you
slates
need.
right here, pal. Two of them.
I mean, you're no longer officially syncing it, or at least we're not yet. So
Actually, I got a question for you. Is it 2 slates or is it 8 slates? Since these are called the quads, 2 quads would be 8.
I have no clue.
Is this a question?
That's a lot of math.
It's more math than I'm ready to do on this Monday morning.
It is a slate, nonetheless. Good morning,
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself.
wherever
In
you are
life.
in life.
Absolutely. We are in a new place, as you probably can see.
I'm fresh off a camping trip.
I have been bacheloring it this week.
Hey, you're a bachelor. The
It's
girls
not
are out of
fun.
town.
Not fun.
You've been throwing wild parties.
Listen, it was cool
Kara,
for
he's
about
been partying.
It was
Don't let
cool
him
for
lie
about
to you.
18 hours, and then it got real quiet, real fast. And I
Was that
like,
after all the guests left?
Well, no, it just so the quiet was cool for a bit, and then the quiet was no longer cool.
So you threw an 18-hour rave
I
straight.
didn't throw anything,
That's what I'm hearing right now.
but I got tired of
kinda what
the
I'm breaking down.
solitude. The solitude really started to. It's like, man, you know what? I wish my wife and my kids were here. I do. Miss them. So
I can understand that.
if nothing else,
I've been with my wife and kids in a 26-foot travel trailer all
nice.
weekend. I'm rejuvenated, excited.
Very cool. Well, we are at a new place.
Yes.
We are in Kingsport, Tennessee. What's the county? Is it
Sullivan.
is it-
We're in
Sully.
Sullivan County.
So we're not in Bluntville?
Yeah,
No.
what are our neighboring counties?
You got Washington County.
Washington County.
That's true. True. Yeah.
Any other Sullivan cities?
I don't live here that long.
Bristol.
Well, yeah, I mean, but what's the county lines? I don't know.
Well, we got cities though too within the county.
Yeah,
We've got
city. You got Bristol
Kingsport,
nearby.
Bristol.
You got JC just up the street.
Yeah.
What else do we have aside from Bristol?
Starts with a B, I think.
Another B word. Another
You
B
guys are
county.
mean. I see.
We've been tipped off.
Y'all
I'm
y'all
sorry,
been
we've been tipped off.
exactly. There's been a tip here.
Listen, he was not taking the bait, and I'm a terrible fisherman, evidently.
Yeah,
So
it's okay.
That was horrible.
we tried to get him to say Bluntville.
We
Bad
can
on
just
us.
say that maybe if you didn't grow up in this area, maybe you relocated.
Yes.
You might be a little concerned about some of the names of this town.
Right.
Neighboring towns. Kingsport's pretty easy to nail.
Yeah.
Also pretty infamous.
But there's some places like Greenville,
Yeah, with an E.
Greeneville, yeah.
and then there's places
It's our
like
hometown.
Yep.
Blountville
There it is.
that you'd be like, that's surely the name. Like
would
an
make sense.
educated man would pronounce it. I live in Blountville.
Yep, would agree.
That sounds like Dracula, but
The spelling,
but
the
I-
spelling would.
I unfortunately figured that it does not really get pronounced that way.
No,
Yeah,
it's
unfortunate.
Bluntville.
But I
I don't even
appreciate
think
you
we-
for being a scholar.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
all
even
good.
think we enunciate the Ville too much here.
it's just
That's-
Bluntville.
It's the Bluntville.
yeah.
More of a VUL.
I actually had to cut a piece of my tongue out, and I just
There you go.
the dialect's better.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
just BLNTVUL. Bluntville.
So we have interrogated our guest so far. We'll introduce him here after. What do you have there?
I'm glad you asked. Jared, as you know, I've been a very heavy caffeine addict for about the past 6 or so years. And because of that addiction, I do suffer from a little bit of stress at times, a little bit of burnout, lack of focus. So my friends over at Magic Mind actually reached out with their matcha mindset power shot. And I've actually been trialing this now for a little bit. And I can already say that I've cut my caffeine intake in half.
Wow.
Within the first week. So I'm very proud of that. Yeah, little claps for that.
Nice.
With the Magic Mind formula, this is a mental performance shot. The thing that sets Magic Mind apart, they do not advertise as being a quick fix nor a caffeine replacement. This is to supplement your current intake and hopefully, as in my case, taper it down a little bit.
Sure.
They do that with a few different ingredients. Number one, an ingredient that I find to be quite attractive is lion's mane. If you're into the fungi, you know the benefits of lion's mane when it comes to mental performance, focus, and clarity, as well as ceremonial grade matcha tea.
Okay.
Straight from Japan. Straight from
Nice.
Japan if you're fans of Japanese. So with all these ingredients, we do have a lot of work behind it. We have over 200 studies on each individual ingredient, as well as organically grown mushrooms in California.
okay.
These are organic, again, clean ingredients And guys, if you're wanting to get your trial of your Magic Mind mental performance shot, look down in the description below. You can use code MotionCreative20 to get up to 48% off your first 10-day subscription to Magic Mind. Nice. And Magic Mind, thank you for sponsoring this video.
Yeah.
Nice. And now I'm going to take my shot.
Yummy. Looks very green. Oh, you do the whole thing.
I do the whole thing.
Nice.
Get her done.
I'm now mentally clear.
Nice.
Meat and taters, Jared. Get us the meat and taters. We have beat around the bush enough. We have a guest, and we are in his house.
Yeah, we're in his backyard. Well, his new backyard. He's actually originally from Arizona. We have Ryan with Cumberland Marketing.
Howdy.
Good morning,
he
sir.
is director of video production.
Copy that. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have been seated here at Cumberland for coming up on 5 years.
Very nice.
Which means like I've been in Tennessee too. You know, it's what brought me here.
You're basically a native.
So you relocated for the shop.
For the job. Yeah.
Very
Nice.
cool.
I came here to be part of the crew.
So
Cool. Part of the crew, part of the ship.
as I was doing some research, I figured you were, I learned that you were from Arizona.
Yep.
The journey from Arizona to Tennessee evidently was professional. How did you, did you find this online? What happened there?
You know, if I can divulge my short professional career, it's been varied. I've been kind of all over the place, and Tennessee's finally feels like rooted to me, which is super awesome to have. So yeah, I went to college in Arizona, grew up in Arizona. Got my bachelor's degree in electronic media and film production.
Very cool.
After that, I think my very first job was at a drug rehabilitation center.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very storied out in Wickenburg, Arizona, which is where the tumbleweeds blow, and it's pretty much all there is to see out there.
Yeah, deer and
There's
the
a
antelope
really
play.
good place to get pie. So
Pie.
that was a cool standout. It was like an hour drive from my apartment. That was pretty short-lived, unfortunately. They had a cool like kind of film division to help people going through rehab kind of deal with different substance abuse issues, and kind of how film can kind of help be a healing process. So that was a good one. Spent like 5 months in Hawaii filming Japanese weddings.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like I worked for a Japanese company. I learned how to say "camera mite kudasai" and "mise mitai kudasai." And
What did
Time
you
out.
just
Can
say
you
there?
translate that,
like,
please?
look at the camera, please.
Ah.
Look at each other, please.
Okay.
A little different translation than what we speak.
Yeah,
we
you're,
speak
so you were
cornbread.
posing. Very cool. I like that.
So
What was the grub like in Hawaii?
It was amazing. So
Pokey? You
I
do poke bowls?
I love food now. Like any kind. Like I just give me all of it. I was very reserved back then, but Hawaii kind of cracked me open because I was like, how can you not live in Hawaii, be surrounded by Japanese coworkers and their culture, and like not just try stuff?
Yeah, how do you not indulge?
So it was cool. Yeah, lots of good food there.
So you did get into the pokey.
Yeah,
Poke.
yeah.
That is pretty
Became
good stuff.
Some
Ash
pork
ketchum.
katsu.
Got to catch all.
Gotta
Catch them all. A little bit of pokey.
Nice.
You know, that unfortunately I decided not to live there. Like they offered me a job afterwards, but the pay, for some reason, I had a little bit of an ego being out of college, being in my
It happens.
20s,
Happens.
thinking, I need some money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big
Gotta get
lie.
that
You just
bread.
need a good time. So, make sure you all, if you get a job at the beach, basically, which like I had, you should just take it for a while and be poor.
Yeah,
It's totally fine.
Looking at that in the rear view, I'm like, dang, that sounds like a pretty good gig.
Yeah, I
actually.
know.
Yeah, Hawaii beach gig, Japanese wedding filmmaker.
I was like, I don't
maybe the
wanna
money
make weddings, though.
didn't align with what you wanted.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
wasn't
like,
a lot of money. It was still wedding videos, but at
Right.
the end, like it was people.
Yep.
It was a really cool culture.
Culture, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
just a
think
lot
that
of-
one specifically, just for the culture, would be very fun. My wife's family, they are from Taiwan.
Oh, nice.
So they're also of the Asian culture. And I find those overseas cultures to be so fascinating, especially Japanese culture.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's a
Totally.
cool gig.
Yeah, so that was a great time. And then like getting into some more like longer lasting jobs, I actually, me and my wife, we just kind of both grew up in Arizona. We met in college and we're just like, we want to go explore more of the country. So I started looking at jobs more outside of the state and ended up taking a job in Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So if you were just like drop a pin in the middle of the state,
That's
it's pretty much Marshfield. It's 2
got you.
hours north of Madison.
Also, weather difference. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I went from a summer in Arizona. So you're looking at like 120 degrees.
Yeah.
Pretty normal.
Yeah.
High.
It's a good heat, though.
Straight,
good heat.
straight,
I like the Arizona heat.
straight into a winter. Like I got there in time for Halloween.
Oh, dear
So I didn't
gosh.
really get like the good part of Wisconsin. I
Yeah,
just went from a
dove
summer
right
to a
in.
winter.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And during my stay there for about like 4 years, speaking of weather, we hit like a polar vortex where it was 55 degrees below zero.
Sick.
Wow.
So
That's Fahrenheit,
But
by the
that
way.
was good for the Arizona boy.
it's pretty gnarly. Yeah, I had thick blood for a minute.
Yep.
Once you got used to it. But my workplace was the Marshfield Clinic Health System.
Okay.
So I worked as a part of their like internal agency that served the health system, doing video. So we got to tell a lot of like really awesome patient stories. So I got like really close with a lot of the different people that were, they really had their life saved through there.
Nice.
I got a real crazy kind of, you can call it Jesus moment, or I heard this, like your mug, I don't even remember the acronym, which is maybe a bad reason to bring it up, but like whatever your deity is, you choose. But my mother passed away from breast cancer, and then I found myself documenting a woman's breast cancer journey, like right after.
Really?
Right.
So
Yeah.
pretty wild times over there.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. You need to follow our friend Jennifer Horton. She's a boudoir photographer down in Greenville. She does a nonprofit where she documents breast cancer patients throughout their journey.
Wow.
Yes, she
Awesome.
takes on a few of those a year. So it hits very close to home. That's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. But anyways, the time in Marshfield was great. Like really learned
Right.
how a good agency can work together.
Yeah.
And just like grew a lot professionally. Really like value my time there and just have so much respect for the quality of the creative people there.
Yeah.
You can look out on the outside and be like, it's a really rural town, but just like the quality of the people inside that building.
Oh, yeah.
Or like bar none. Like I
Sure.
created a lot of stuff I'm really proud of during that time.
Yeah.
But eventually felt like I had learned so much and had like all these new tools. I was like excited to take on the world.
Oh, yeah.
And so
for
I started
sure.
looking at outside opportunities and jobs. I just have like a really adventurous spirit. I love to be outside. I grew up skateboarding and then like
Okay.
snowboarding all in college. So I was
Very
like anything
rad.
action sports. That was like my dream growing up.
Sure.
And I eventually applied to a job and moved my family outside of Milwaukee to work for Evinrude Outboard Motors.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So it was like, cool, man, like boats, action,
Yeah.
like
GoPros.
I'm be like filming some like, yeah, like man, GoPros like on the water, like this would be so crazy.
I didn't know that Evinrude was based in Milwaukee.
Yeah, so I lived in Kenosha, which is just a little suburb outside.
Yep, yep.
And then they are in a little town just right in between. The name kind of plagues my memory at the moment, but
I just
Wow.
know with the Evinrudes, you have like the Craig Morgan song "Redneck Yacht Club," where that brand is mentioned specifically. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't think that Redneck Yacht Club and
knew?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin had a connection, but apparently they do.
I
They do.
don't think they are a company anymore, actually.
Evinrude's not a company. Oh, that's sad.
No, don't
Well,
think
they're
so.
still out there loud and proud. I
They
hear
are.
them on the lake.
Oh yeah, they're still
yeah,
kicking.
no doubt. They're like the original outboard motor,
Yeah, for sure.
the
So-
A1 from day one.
So from Evinrude, then
But it was another short stay, unfortunately. I was there for 4 months. I was fired up with all this info.
Yeah.
And they let me go after just a couple months.
Ooh.
I don't know. Kind of a big growth point for me. you
Oh,
know?
for
Didn't-
sure.
Didn't really get an explanation why.
That's
It was a
the
tough
worst.
time on the family, moving outside of a cute little town into a bigger city and stuff. We just had our second child by that point too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there was like a lot going on and didn't have family nearby. But it kind of left us back in this uncertain land
Oh, yeah.
of what do we do?
Right.
By this time, like I'm in my 30s, I got 2 kids, and I am once again like unemployed.
Yeah.
So
What's next?
It was a tough spot to be in. We luckily have always had awesome family.
Nice.
My in-laws have always been great and
Yep.
like welcoming us with open arms to just come and stay with them and figure out life. So I got to do that. Luckily for me too, they were renting a house in South Carolina.
Ah,
So I
okay.
had like a nice place
Yeah.
to stay, and just started searching for jobs all over the country again, and found one of the many listings on LinkedIn that
There you go.
I was applying all over the country for. I think maybe one of my first phone calls with the owner here at Cumberland, with Chris Bowen,
Yep.
was like, I might have been at the airport on my way to Cheyenne, Wyoming, for
Nice.
like
Yeah.
another interview
Might
with a
as well
different
be.
company. But just seeing the work that was coming here, I
Yeah.
just really love like the variety. I love like the energy
Right.
that Nick Bowen put together on the demo reel.
Okay.
My
okay.
coworker, my best bud, my bike buddy.
Okay.
So
bike buddy, your BB.
shout out my
Shout
guy
out
Nick.
to Nick, the BB,
Yeah.
bike buddy.
He had some really cool things going on there. And at the same time, if I had to kind of like flex myself up a little bit, I was like, yeah, I think I could fit in here because I think I could show them a few things.
Go ahead,
Okay.
flex yourself
I
up.
was
I
like,
like that.
Yeah.
this is good, but there's room for growth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it'd be like intimidating. I was like, are you the kind of person that's going to show up and like help a place grow? Or are you kind of like the small fish and like you got to grow when you
Yeah,
hop
you've got to
in?
Yeah. For
put
sure.
the
Right.
suit on.
I know. I mean,
you
you want a
found
little
it
bit
on
of
LinkedIn,
both,
though.
right? Yeah. So found it on LinkedIn and just started having the conversation there because I was just down the coastline,
Yep.
6-hour drive. I was able to like come scout out the town.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
holy, like when I
Holy culture shock, Batman.
no, in the best way.
Okay.
Listen, growing up in the desert and then living
Oh,
in
yeah.
a very flat
Oh,
rural
yes.
Wisconsin,
Well, there's nothing flat here.
I saw the mountains and I was like, yeah, buddy,
Absolutely.
you got me sold.
Yes.
The mountains ain't flat. Our guts ain't flat. We got biscuits and gravy, boys and girls.
That's right.
So I do
it
want to
up.
back up real quick because you talked about that time where you basically had a reset
Yeah.
in your 30s.
Yep.
What would you say were the key things that you derived from everything that had boiled up to that point to help get you through what I would assume you would call a dark time?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to elaborate here, it's like my bank account was pretty much as close to zero as a bank account gets. We're talking like single digits.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a family of 4.
Yep.
Rough.
You're applying for the government checks, and then your daughter brings home some lice. So now you have lice,
Oh man.
Wow.
and you're looking for
True
a job,
story.
and you're unemployed, and you're living with your in-laws. So
Dang.
So
Yeah.
that was like the reality. And like you're saying, I mean, I've always been half glass full kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just super optimistic.
Yes.
Listen, life is going to put you down, but like that, it's always temporary.
Sure.
Like whatever moment you're living in is always temporary, good or bad.
Yeah.
So just
That's fair.
enjoy whatever you have. And I hadn't, by that time, it's like, listen, I've gone through some other career changes. I had been let go. People had just randomly run out of money who I didn't know were the ones funding me.
Right.
And all of a sudden I didn't have
Right.
a job. So it
Right.
luckily in one way wasn't my first time where that had just happened
Sure.
suddenly and I had to make a shift. So I'd had a bit of experience. I had like the mental toughness from
Yep.
all of that. Around this like same time, once I hit 30, I decided to start eating vegetables.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ate like a salad
Getting the greens in.
and, kind of changed my life a little bit.
Okay.
Because
All right.
I just went from being pretty, frozen pizza Capri Sun kind of dad
Wow.
every
Gotcha.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't guess that this athletic figure was run on all
Capri
that
Sun
good
and
stuff.
Listen, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
But I just say that to bring in, like I really started to try to take care of myself more.
sure.
Getting
And
very
that comes
conscious
like,
about it.
mentally and physically is just
Yep.
like I need to exercise. I need to move my body. I need to take care of myself. And I honestly feel like a lot of the mental strength that I had gained was just through, I found that through like a physical
Yeah.
avenue, endurance sports, and just trying to get myself tough and like kind of prepared for anything.
You
I
found
guess
an
could
outlet.
say. Yeah.
Found a good outlet.
Right.
So that brings me to a point that has nothing to do with what you've stated so far. Strictly has to do with reconnaissance that I did.
Yeah.
There's a word under your
Yes.
bio on the company website.
That's right.
It's on the
Taters.
company
Say
website.
it for me.
Taters.
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 Okay,
Taters.
I've got it. When I saw it again, I was confused. I was like, I wonder if he's actually talking about potatoes, or is this some like backhanded Nikon joke that
Yeah.
there's tons of memes about.
Yeah, people claim that Nikons are like shooting on a potato. I see
But
that.
so taters,
Yeah. Love
just a
me
fun
good sweet
little,
tater.
fun little into to this little bit here. Why is taters on your
Yeah,
company
I
bio?
think it goes to kind of what I was just touching on. Is just like and maybe it's because I got a bit of an extreme personality when I dig into something.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
just like I've got some like funny health stories about being like too granola, a little bit too green.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I gave myself some form of like scurvy.
Okay.
Because like you're supposed to brush your teeth with like
Yeah.
some fluoride. It's like good for your teeth.
Yeah.
right? But if you dig a little bit too deep on like the influencer side of health,
Oh,
you
ditch the
might be
fluoride.
like, you don't need no fluoride. Like, you should be brushing your teeth with is some nice clay,
Clay and
something-
charcoal.
something from the earth.
Yeah.
clay
And
and
it's like,
charcoal.
listen, the stuff exists. Like, I'm sure there's a right use for it and all. But I got to the point where my teeth, my gums were real itchy, like all the time.
itchy.
And then I decided, and I was like, you know what? It's probably this toothpaste.
Time
Like,
out,
I
time
oughta-
out. I have never, not ever, never in the 31 years I've been on this earth had someone describe their gums as itchy.
Itchy.
Yeah, well,
That was blowing my mind right now. Yeah,
yeah,
What an adjective.
it's
we
not a good place
itchified
to
our
be.
gums. Oh man. Oh man.
So
You're saying the charcoal toothpaste life is not all it's cracked up to be.
I mean, I got a little bit of charcoal in my toothpaste now, but there's still fluoride in it.
Okay, gotcha. So it's mainly the fluoride.
Yeah. I mean, I think this stuff was called. I don't want to shout out no brands, but
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, we'll keep it. We'll keep
Keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
We'll just say big charcoal.
So we've got charcoal, scurvy, itchy.
Yeah.
yeah.
How do we get potatoes out
Yeah,
of that? How do we get
give me-
taters
give
out
me
of
I mean, it
give me
just.
to
I
the
think
taters.
it's just a funny illustration to say that. I was just trying to eat better, so now sweet potatoes is like my go-to like snack.
Love sweet taters.
You know, sweet taters are great. You can cook them up, and I do like I'll cut them in half and do like 4 or 5 of them in the oven.
Yes.
And then like put them in container, and they're good to go.
Yep.
And being production life,
Yes.
you're on set.
That's
long,
true.
You're on set early.
You can meal prep that in a heartbeat.
Sustain you for a bit too, though.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
the sweet potato, I'll bring a lunchbox with me, or I got my dad bag, and I just
Yep.
shove a little half a tater in there,
Yeah.
and I've got fuel.
I dig it. I've been a meal prepper. Well, not recently, but in my past life, me and my wife were meal preppers very heavily, and sweet potatoes are a staple
Yeah.
in my diet. I love them.
Listen, do you ever take them a little less healthy? A little bit of butter and brown sugar.
You know, I can't say I do butter and brown sugar.
Little
What I
bit of
have
caramel
done
drizzle.
though is like I'll double dip, and you can get those like little squeezy packets of peanut butter, like the RX
Yes, you
nut
can.
butter.
Oh,
Yes, you can.
okay.
Oh, and I'll double fist. I'll go a little bit of tater, a little bit of tater, a little bit of peanut butter.
Really?
As we say in the Baptist community, bless it, Lord.
Wow. I would never
stuff.
thought to
Bless
put,
the Lord.
Listen, I eat peanut butter by the spoonful.
Yeah, I love peanut butter.
So
It's
I've never
good
thought
stuff.
to marry those two.
Yeah,
Wow.
I could see it.
that's straight up endurance fuel.
It's like sweet tater casserole with a hint of peanut butter. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, wow. Scurvy, itchy taters.
Get your fluoride in, folks. Basically,
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
It's been a good episode. Get your fluoride in.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
PSA, little reminder for you all.
So I would like to pivot here and get a little more into the nuts and bolts of what you do.
Yeah.
You're director of video production. What drew you to video as a medium? Because
Yeah.
in marketing, there are plethora of mediums.
Yes.
How'd you end up in video?
So for me, it really came, I think, of like kind of 2 main storylines here. Like video in general, I just love taking pictures growing up.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, I always had a camera with me.
Right.
I've got like a plethora of old like digital cameras from the childhood. And
Yes.
I got into like film photography just because
Yep.
I thought it was like edgy and cool.
Yep.
Same.
And then like skateboarding.
Yep.
So I grew up skating and was
Yep.
just like watching skate videos. And I was like, for a while, I was like, that's my career.
Sure.
And even into like my 20s and after college, I was like, that's my career.
Did you have a
I'm gonna
pile
be
of CCS
skateboarding.
magazines?
So like
I was big on
I
the
was-
CCS back in the day.
the Thrasher magazines,
Yeah.
the skateboard mag. I had like a cool trip where I got to go overseas to Europe. I collected like European skateboard mags. and I was
Nice.
Might as
like,
well.
"Dude,
Very
this
cool.
is so cool.
I longboard, so
Yeah. You got the Nikes on. Got some New Balances.
I got the NBs.
NB and some Jamie Foy's. I
Jamie
think.
Foy's, you're right.
Oh,
He nailed it. I
nice.
love it. I
Used to
love
be a
it.
shoe guy back in the skate day.
Very nice.
Yeah. So skateboarding is what brought a camera to my hand. In high school, I took a cool like multimedia class.
Sure.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of
Okay.
photography, and they had like a Sony VX1000, which was like the holy grail of skateboard
Yep.
cameras back in the
Right.
day. So I was like sick, you know, took that out to my local skate park, which is down the street from the high school. And my friends who were skateboarding at the time, I just filmed them like doing
Yep.
whatever little tricks we could do. You
Yep.
know, we weren't great back then. We had like a crew in our high school who were like legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Do you have some
I was
sponsored
not in
riders?
that. Yeah.
Every high school has their
I
sponsored
know,
riders.
That was them. Yeah. And,
Nice.
like, those were the guys I looked up to. I was like, man, those guys are good. They're skating rails and stuff. They were like
Yes.
street skating. I wasn't there yet in high school.
I got you.
But I eventually, like in college, you know, I had a savings that my parents helped
Yeah.
kind of populate as I was growing.
Yeah.
And then it came time. It was like, well, I started taking, you know, camera courses and stuff, media stuff in college, and wanted to buy my own camera. But that was really so I could go film skateboarding.